has begun. We are a mere 15 minutes from start time for Lawncology 2018. I think I'm ready. I think so. This is going to be fun, and people are already starting to gather down in the conference room. We're going to have a good crowd. Tomorrow is going to be super busy. I'm a little stressed out about it, but I think it's going to come off without a hitch. We got through all the technical glitches today. The setup went smooth. Everybody's working really hard, and there's just going to be a ton of information. But right now, I am about to have to speak for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. 2 of that is doing just an intro. I don't know how to do a 2-hour intro. It's going to be bizarre to see. So, wish me luck. I think it's going to be okay. The most thing I'm excited about what's going to come from this video right here is all of the people who've come and gathered that we're going to get to sit and have interviews with and laugh with and kind of get a good feel for their businesses, and they're people that will be visiting all throughout the year too, so that's going to be fun to kind of introduce future characters into the saga. So that's my coffee brewing, which is going to sustain me for the next 3.5 hours. So I am going to go ahead and get Tiny Yeti all filled up. Tiny Yeti always with me all the time, right over there, ready, filling up. So I'm going for it. Wish me luck. It's 8 p.m. Just finished day 1 of Lawncology 2018. It was really good. You might be able to hear my voice. I'm a little bit hoarse, just a little bit. Just talked for 3.5 hours straight, 4 maybe, up in front of the group. Ended up running through a couple of different presentations. One on soil surface and aeration, which people really are excited about, and another one which was just my soils topic, which was what I was supposed to be talking about. Everybody wants to know about liquid aeration, chemical aeration. What is it? How does it work? What's it doing? What's that aerate product you got? What's going on? Every single question was coming about that. And which makes sense. I mean, it's a new thing. It's a new concept. It's a new development for a lot of people. And honestly, even for me, it's hard to figure out how are we going to market this to the group. How are we going to get customers are going to get excited about this process of being able to offer an alternative to mechanical aeration and the mess and the goo and all the stuff that comes from doing that. So, real quickly, we have a product. It's called Aerate. It opens up the soil. I don't know what else to say. That's really what it is. It works really well. It does what it's supposed to. There's a visual response that a customer gets if you're doing it with overseeding. Seed germinates quickly, and it's designed based on the techniques we use to react humic acid in our tank. So, it's funny, a couple of the guys that were in there have been offering it to customers and just said, hey, we just put it out there as an offer, and heck, 40-50% of the customers that usually take mechanical aeration is like, just sign me up, that sounds way better. And you'll see as time goes on, this will become a more widely accepted method of things. There'll be videos posted that I don't do, but people are going to test this. They're going to try it. They're going to see visual results in their grass. They're going to see the whole thing. So it's really fascinating to see that that's really what the most questions. I mean, I was bombarded with that whole thing of this liquid aeration. The companies and customers of mine that have been running it, they swear by it. You know, their customers see that visual result. They feel good about it. They know something's happening. That those lawns are just more healthy. They're more robust. I got a text message today from another gentleman out there, Pete Denny from GCI Turf. You can look him up on YouTube, GCI Turf Academy. He's a great wealth of information for guys that are out there trying to, you know, like that. He runs through everything. And he was just like, man, I put that stuff out yesterday. I can already see my grass is greener. I said, well, that's cool. It's not a fertilizer, but he's getting a response from nutrients that have been applied that quickly. That's pretty awesome. So you're going to start hearing more and more about it. You're going to start seeing more and more. And I think that over the next couple of years, we're going to have a real push for change from this mechanical aeration and poking holes to why don't we use something that's biologically activated or chemically activated, however you want to call that. You know, whatever your verbiage is, it doesn't matter to me. So anyway, it was a great day. It was a great day. Feedback's positive. People are excited. It's 8 o'clock. There's a bunch of people down by the pool right now. Everybody wants to hang out and talk and ask questions. And I have a PowerPoint presentation to do, I think at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, that I've never actually done before. Now, it's stuff that I talk about all the time, but I've got to create this thing from scratch. And I've had plenty of time to do it, and I just didn't. Okay, I lied. I haven't really had time to do it. And even right now, I am literally sitting here, rather than making this PowerPoint, I am talking to the camera. Look, for real, it's right there. I gotta get this thing going. It's the water presentation. It's super important. We've got details on this from the USDA, from ATRA, from data just going back about infiltration rates and what water does and carrying things into roots. And I've got to get this into a succinct PowerPoint and talk about it for 90 minutes. So that's what I'm doing right now. So day one, Lawncology. Fantastic, great turnout. Tomorrow is going to be big. It's all day. I'm going to be talking so much. I'm not going to have a voice at the end of the day. We have guests. We have our panel. We have a band coming. It's going to be awesome. So, I want to make sure all of that's getting shared on here. All of my presentations are being filmed. Some of them have been posted to the Professional Lawn Care Applicators page on Facebook. I did an hour and a half on there, so that can be seen. That was a soil presentation. So here we go. Day 2 is coming fast. And we're just going to keep on changing the industry. So.
Give them the if there's one thing speech. If there's one thing that I would either have done different or one thing that you should focus on as your business owner, whatever it is, the one thing, what's the one thing? If you're selling your business, if you're whatever it is, just advice to guys that are growing.
The one thing that I would do over is pay attention, because it's all lessons. And I can't tell you how many times I did the same thing over and over, and it didn't work. It took me years to figure it out. If I could consolidate that. So you really have to, you're listening to what these guys are saying with the bigger businesses. As a small guy, you get stuck in a pattern where, well, I'm doing it that way, and you don't want to listen to people. Network, join a state association and get guys that are not in a competitive area and think together. That makes a difference. Otherwise, you'll just make the same mistakes over and over again. It'll take you years, it took me years to figure it out. And then I had a good son, and it really worked.
Yeah, I would say as you grow and you bring in, whether it's family or whether it's an outside person that you bring in to manage the day-to-day activities of your company, don't be afraid to step back and let that person do his job that you hired him for. You can't micromanage people. You've got to let them do what you wanted them to do, hired them to do. Let them make mistakes and then work together to fix those things, or pat that person on the back and tell them what a great job they're doing. But my hardest thing was, watching my son and his ideas. And one thing I didn't want to do was have this conflict with him and his ideas. He's fresh, he's got energy, just like Eric does. And you've got to let those kind of people just let it go. And you can keep your eye on the business, but you got to let them try and let them use that energy, because when they succeed, it's a whole new thing. You're just really proud, what's going on. So that would be my one thing.
I'm going to say two things. One is I try to read as many books as I can. So I can't go back to school, and now it's the only way I can learn new things. I try to read a book. And so reading books as much as I can, and I would say the things I've learned most, I would say almost everything I've done that's been successful, I've learned from networking and talking to another PCO or L&O guy at industry events or after hours at the industry events, whatever it may be. So networking and finding out what other people are doing successful. So most of the thing what you're doing, somebody else has done it and failed and fixed the way to do it right. So that has always been a huge help for me, and it doesn't matter the size of the company. One-man operators to huge companies, you could get one little thing from them, and just learning from networking with people is huge.
I would say that's been the one disappointment for me of the lawn care side of the business, because turf types are so different. You don't have a national organization that brings everybody together. With the National Pest Control Association or National Pest Management Association, roaches are the same in his market as they are mine. So he and I would be at the same meeting. He and I would network, and you get those ideas from people. And if somebody else is doing it, then it kind of gives you a kick in the butt when you get back home and say, if he's doing it, why are we not? And it also gives you a resource to be able to call on. The guy I mentioned earlier, Brad Lay with Blades of Green, they got into pest control because they met us at a Real Green meeting, and my partner was telling them it's not that hard. And the big thing is your fear of screwing something up. If you've got a resource, you can call it. You say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to just take his program that's been successful and implement it in my business, knowing if something's not going right, I can call him. That would be the biggest thing that I would say. That, and then when you can afford to get out of the business. I mean, just the last 8 months for me since I made a commitment to actually being in lawn care and working primarily with sales, working with our salespeople, hiring another salesperson, working on the business instead of in it. That's been huge from a growth standpoint.
I would say sales. I mean, if you may be the number one pest control guy or gal in the state of Florida, but if no one knows about it, who cares? And it comes down to that. I mean, have we seen really good sales companies that aren't as good as these guys that have a lot of clients and maybe they don't do this? So I mean, it comes down to that, is you got to be out there. Eric's right. 6 years ago, I'd never been in lawn care in my life. I own another business in Boston, sold that, and retired and moved to Texas, which is where I met Wayne. And once I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this with that guy, I immediately found somebody that was very good at lawn care. It's actually is that Lawn America guy still here? It's actually Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson, yeah.
Brad Johnson.
Chris just walked out a little bit ago.
Yeah, I called him and said, and just made an appointment with him. I said, I'm coming. I said, I want to spend a day with you. And I listened to everything he said and copied a lot of it. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and say I invented all this.
Absolutely, I copied a lot.
I just did exactly what they told me to do. And there's things that I like, I don't know about that, but I just did it. I'm like, he's got 12,000, 14,000 customers. Why am I going to argue? Why would I argue with that guy? I'm like, just whatever, I'll do it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
By the way, the other thing too is contracts. I know a lot of guys are like paperwork. They're like, well, I'm not going to share my contract with you. I'm like, guess what? I can get a contract from anybody's company, paperwork, because it's part of your marketing. So don't be afraid to ask somebody. A lot of my contracts back in the day were Truly Nolan's or somebody else's, and I just call them up and say, can you send it over? I And most of them did it because you can get them anyway.
Third thing I would do is hire Al. He's coming out of retirement, right? That's what I would do. Get
I'm
this
available.
guy. I'd grab this guy and have him come to your shop for a while. Maybe, I don't know if he wants that or not.
Hey, we're open, you should come visit, absolutely. I mean, we've done that, we've gone and visited other companies, and it works huge. I mean, it's such a big help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last day. As you can hear, I don't really have much of a voice. Talking for day over day. Presentation after presentation has worn me out. I'm ready to go home. It's been a long trip. Successful. Exciting. Definitely the best summit we've put together. The panel discussion yesterday was incredible. Getting to listen to these guys who've been in business for a long time, share with these companies who are getting started or who are trying to figure out to get to the next level. I think that for most people that was the highlight. Which is great. Because what I often say in many of my presentations is I'm going to teach you all this stuff, all this science, all this connectivity. But it really doesn't mean anything if you don't have a business that's growing and successful. And so the best thing to do is to forget everything I talked about. Don't repeat it. Don't bring it out there. For the most part, people don't care. They just want to know they're being taken care of. So, for 2 days, I built the science side. I talked about it and answered questions, product questions, soil questions, program. And the biggest and best takeaway, and even for me, the 90 minutes, 5 guys sat up at the front of the room and people just asked them questions. How'd they do it? How'd they get to where they are? It was fantastic. So, I've got a little bit more to do today. A couple more presentations. And I want to keep doing this. This is very fun. It's very fun having everybody here listen and engage, and then share with each other, and then ask each other questions, and continue to grow their peer group and their network, and have people to lean into. That's what it's all about. This is what we all feel like we're missing. Everyone in this business feels like it's missing this piece. So I want to continue to do that. I want to provide that. And we put this show on. And it's no small feat. I had people here that are not really customers. They just came because they wanted to learn something, but they're going to leave that way. And continuing this education first method is important to me. It's really what I've always done. And seems to be working so far.
Hello, YouTube. He's on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. Is anybody
YouTube.
Is anybody watching your thing?
Yeah, 13.
Hey guys.
Going up. We got What's Up Guys from Russell with Solid Grounds.
Hey Russell.
Russell Skipper.
The
Hey, Russell.
skipper. The skip. All right. So here's what we're gonna do real quick. The Lawncology 2018 Summit is done. I have right here Jimmy Cox, Matt Martin,
Hey-o.
Brandon Cox, Mr. JB John Borden, and JB Jimmy Beveridge
Buongiorno.
hanging out. Back in the back, there's old Dan Heberline on the telephone. Very important lawn and landscape
Dan
magazine.
Heberline.
Selling ads.
Heberline. We're just gonna do a quick thing here, real quick. Here's a Jimmy.
There's Jimmy.
Jimmy, tell me, what'd you think?
I think it was pretty good.
Think it was pretty good.
It was great.
What was your biggest takeaway? We're gonna make this as quick as like a 5-minute thing. You don't have to talk that long.
My biggest thing was the round table that you did. I like to learn from other people.
Yep.
Like to see different ways that they're making it,
Sure.
making the big money.
After seeing what they did, what are you gonna implement?
Probably some more marketing.
Yeah.
Doing marketing and seeing how that goes.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Mr. Matt Martin.
I'm Matt Martin. I would say the round table was unlike anything I've ever experienced because I was forced to look at myself
Mm-hmm.
very hard, be honest with myself about what I'm doing and why I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And, have those realizations that, so much of the things that I'm focusing on that I think are important are not the important things in terms of building the type of business that I want. I've been going about it wrong the whole time.
That's what it seems like. Like they just said, just the stuff. It was like, gosh, common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Brandon,
Oh, my turn.
your turn. What'd you get? What was your favorite part?
I like learning about different products, especially the air rate.
Yeah.
Something we had a lot of questions about. Thinking about maybe putting it into our program next year in a couple of yards, seeing how it goes, seeing what it does, and kind of going from there. And the dethatch is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Seeing about maybe putting that in a few of our yards, especially right there at the beginning of the summer.
Cool.
Seeing how that goes.
Nice. Awesome. JB.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Welcome.
man. So I have kind of an outside perspective, not having a landscape company, but I thought the whole seminar was interesting. Really interested. Little plug about rolling out this new product, new granular.
That's all right. You can plug it.
So need to talk to you
Yeah.
further. But yeah, just meeting everyone and kind of getting a pulse on the industry and
Absolutely.
where it's headed.
I love it. So wait. So you got all that. You got to listen to these guys. Totally different industry. You sat and had to listen about soils and all that kind of stuff. Do you feel like your brain is working a little bit faster today, or is it slowed down to a crawl?
No, it was good. I'm somewhat familiar. The company I work for now, we produce biochar, so
Yeah.
I have an idea of soil quality and
Sure.
the cycle. So, but yeah, there was a lot of information absorbed and walked away, I think, a little more intelligent.
Hopefully. Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Jimmy B, the beverage, the Bevmeister. B Dog. What do we got?
You just completely floor me every time you talk because although you and I talk almost daily, it seems,
Yeah.
Every time I talk to you, I learn something else, some new way to sell the product, some new information about turf care and soil quality that I never knew. And not that I ever knew anything to begin with, but I read a lot and things like that. And just listening to your story of how you ended up doing everything and why you ended up doing everything kind of fits what I did when I was younger. So it was just an amazing, out of all the seminars I've ever been to, it was the most enlightening and most information that I've ever had. So
Awesome.
and my brain's on overload. I took lots of notes, which is good because I'm sitting here going, what did he say? So yeah, it was definitely worth the time.
From what I understand, every presentation was filmed. The whole thing. That camera ran the whole time.
Good.
So I've got like 12 or 13 hours of video to render and
Great.
see what I can do with that and get it out to people. So that's all fantastic. I mean, for me,
So flip it around to you.
I'm going to go like this. This was my
And what did you get out of it?
My takeaway was this. I don't necessarily like to sit there and listen to myself talk. It's more exciting for me to get to hear people like Matt and then, David Pomfret and, the round table was actually my intent from the beginning was to get a crew together. And I knew that was going to be the most exciting piece because at the end of the day, it's like I said in there, the soil science piece is awesome. The plant knowledge is great, but it wasn't really, it's the stuff that you cannot talk about, but it doesn't necessarily help you grow your business. That other piece is what's going to make you successful. You're now going to be a smarter guy because of it, diagnose things different. That's okay. But for me, I always want to see the building of the business aspect first. That's why I got like excited about, that's what the biggest takeaway was for most people, is like hearing what those guys did, how they grew it, and how they can, you know, how you can grow and how you can implement a lot of those things. So I guess ultimately I just want more people to be at this. I want to be able to do this for people. I want this to be a recognized form of education for the industry. That's really what I want. That's what I was going for, and that's why I honestly threw this together on pretty short notice, because I said I can't go another length of time without doing this, and there's a lot of people who are ready to learn, and we need to get all of this info into one location. So for me, I want to grow this. I want to grow this, and it's almost like running a nonprofit, because Lawncology is not a business. It's just something I talk about. Now, I ultimately end up selling FERT through my talking about these things, but there are people in here that didn't come here planning on buying anything. They just wanted to learn. I wanted to teach them to grow. I wanted to grow, and I love seeing how people are just learning and taking in the information, then how they're going to use it in their business. But I see this just getting way bigger, way bigger. So I'm super stoked. I don't think it could have gone any better personally. I really don't. I mean, I think it went out without it. I fly by the seat of my pants. I think everybody realizes that now. If there's something in front of me that's a schedule, I'm going to try to just follow the breaks and the lunches and the rest of it. We're just going to go with the direction that you guys want to learn. It's not as much about me just picking what you should learn. It's about you guys dictating what you want to find out about. So that's what I want to do. I think it went pretty well.
The discussions afterwards were good too.
Yeah,
That's actually even better than the round table.
Yeah, that's right. Getting together and kind of sharing with
It's
everybody.
like we're
I think
doing
that's
right here. This is more enjoyable than being out. And this is how you learn.
This is where you grow your business. You guys have anything you want to say? Closing comments?
YouTube stopped.
We actually had a great time reinforcing what we, of course, already are learning, knowing, and hearing from the other people in the businesses who are larger, helping us grow. I mean, that was really beneficial.
Yeah.
And like you just said, talking in little circles like this, where we did it inside. Oh, man,
Get more out of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hurt his feelings, but more out of that. But
No, I
you got a
agree.
lot
No,
out
no.
of it.
That's what I get out of it, is the networking piece is what I think is missing from the lawn care business. It's like, you heard Eric say it, you heard David say it, these guys in the pest control business, they have meetings all the time. They all know each other. They can call each other and say, what are you doing? And there's information that shares. The lawn care business doesn't do that. No, it's like everybody's like out to like, it's not really, it's amazing how much you can grow because there's so much work out there. It's never ending. So opening up and having those discussions and kind of getting to be able to share that, like what success you had, what's this, what's that, and people need that. We don't have that in the lawn care business, and that's what I want to see here. I want to see this thing open up, create that network in a big way, and let guys share their successes to help everybody else up. I mean, what is better than like taking a kid who comes here who's got 10 acres of turf and saying, just do this, and he comes back next year and is like, I've got 500-600 clients, I followed along with that, and like, it took me this much time instead of how I was beating my head against the wall. That's ultimately the reward for me. I love that.
Do you think there's more of a shift happening where people are taking a vested interest in understanding what they're doing on properties? Do you think that's growing, or is that dwindling in the industry?
I think it is actually, I think it was not intentionally ignored for a long time, but people weren't getting it. They were just kind of taking whatever it was that they heard. But now suddenly everybody's realizing how much they don't know.
Okay.
That's what I think is happening, is there's sort of an awakening of, I need to know more about this. And there's not a place to really get it, right? And so like what you guys have done with the applicators page and doing that, bringing these people together to talk, that has been hugely beneficial to a lot of people.
Well, I'm getting a networking page up too.
Yeah, that's it. So we gotta have it. It's important. So that's what I think. I think the quest for knowledge is great at the moment, and people are trying to find a good portal to get it. That's what I think. Yeah.
Dan the Man, what do you think about the industry? What do you think about the show?
in the state of the industry?
I think the show was awesome. I learned a lot. Stuff that I wasn't quite aware of some of the things that you guys go through, the different services offered, things like that. And the industry as a whole, I feel good about it. I feel very positive. The clients that I've talked to, the landscapers that I've talked to, and come across when I'm out and about, they're positive, they're upbeat.
Yeah. I feel great about where the industry is right now.
Oh,
I mean, this is like one of the first years where I'm like, it's gonna be huge for everybody. People are spending money. You're seeing results from years of work and actually some hard times, and it's changing. So I think that we're all in for a pretty damn good year. That's what I think. I'm gonna just let that one hang out there. We're in for a pretty damn good year.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good.
Life is good. All right. Anything else? Are we good? I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm great.
YouTube, y'all good? Check the
When's
comments.
when's the next
May
seminar?
have some questions.
I will work on it. I'll work on it. No promises right now, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of the whole thing. Thank you for sharing.